Night, we're gonna do some errands. Well, a couple of errands. I'm gonna take the garbage out, and we're gonna water the plants, and then we're gonna sit down and have a snack. Hi, my name's Angela. Welcome back to my channel. I am a dark empath, a star seed, and I teach all things. I went through homelessness. I was in a um, domestic violence relationship for a very long time. I left that, went to a DV shelter, stayed there for 18 months. I have a 7-year old that has autism. This is my first condo slash apartment. I lost everything. I'm starting over. I don't talk to anybody here. I want to keep it that way. We're gonna take the garbage out and do a little, you know, as you can see, you can hear the closing of the cabinets again every time they hear my voice. So we're still probably gonna wash our hands. Trash back in. This was It's not okay. Damn. Damn, what happened? What happened? The school bus called me today and they said that Samaj's school bus will pick him up at 7:58, not 7:59, not 8 o'clock, not 8:01, but 7:58 a.m. He will be out there at 7:50 a.m. I don't know what he's gonna wear on the first day of school, but it's gonna be something simple. I've been thinking about buying me an air fryer. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if I want to buy me an air fryer or not. I'm on the fence because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be on a diet. I'm not trying to really lose weight. I'm trying to probably like get the pounds off that I did gain. We're gonna talk about tonight, why are people singling certain individuals out? If you're the type of person that a lot of different type of people always singling you out and you can't understand it, you're always getting picked on, watched, ridiculed. We're going to talk about the reason. The reason certain people are getting picked on and watched under surveillance is because people know you're a seer. When you are a seer, that's when they watch you. When they know you can see every single thing, nothing can get past you. They tend to watch you. This is strawberry banana. It's so good. So I bought a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables in the little smoothie maker thing. So we're gonna be on a health journey. I also bought some granola to put in my yogurt, but we're not. When you are a seer of all things, people know it's something extraordinary about you. You know what else I'm gonna get? I want to get some chia seeds. Some chia seeds. I'm not really into the sea moss, but I will get like some chia seeds. Yeah, I'm gonna get some chia seeds and something else somebody was telling me about. They was telling me about sea moss, chia seeds, and something else. Another thing people will do when they know you're a seer, they will start chipping away at your credibility. They want everybody to hate you. They want everybody to not believe the things that you are saying. They want to make you out to look like you're a liar, like you don't know what you're talking about, like you're dumbfounded, like you're an airhead. They just want to ruin your credibility because they don't want you to ever venture to somebody and tell what's actually going on with that person. So they will run to the person that you're talking to, your family, your friends, your cousins, and just try to ruin your credibility to make it look like you're the liar when they're really the liar because they don't want to be exposed. Now I just took the garbage out. Somebody done some spilled something like in the front of the garbage thing. My whole thing is if you take your garbage out and your bag bust, what the hell is wrong with you not like going in your apartment getting some paper towels and some spray or going in your apartment bringing your mop out and mop that spot up? Why leave the I know it's people come here every day and clean up and vacuum and mop and wipe the elevator handles down, like buttons down. But I'm just saying, why can't you go out there with paper towels and spray something and wipe it up? I know my bags be over fucking stuffed. That's why I make sure I get the good garbage bags with the flex force. I feel like people do that shit on purpose. I do, and I believe dude weird ass across the hall doing that. That's why I put that towel up against my door. That's why I put that good ass towel up against my door. My air conditioner is not finna blow, and I be wasting money, and my house be hot. People don't want you to blow the whistle on their ass. That's why they try to ruin your credibility. They don't want you to run and tell and talk about what's happening, what they did to you, what they're doing to you. They want your ass to look like the little boy who cried wolf. They want you to look like if we did all this to her, if we did all this to him, why is she still here? Why is he still here? They want to make it seem like you're lying, you're exaggerating, you're stretching the truth. I believe that's why when I was in a relationship with the narcissist, I believe that's why he had everybody watching me. Every single body watching me. He had people on the clock clocking in. You watch Angela from 9 to 4 when she gets off work at 4 to 9. You watch her, and then 9, 10. I've been and came home and watch her. You know, motherfuckers used to watch me in my sleep. I used to wake up some nights and the narcissist be dead in my face. Used to scare the shit out of me. I'm trying to sleep. The narcissist be dead in my face. I had people around the clock watching me. If I left out and walked to the store, motherfuckers was following me in the car. I hit the corner, they hit the corner. I go down the street, talk to one of my neighbors on their porch. They hitting the block 5, 6 times. We just sitting on me and my neighbors just politicking on the porch. They like, damn, Angie, ain't that so and so? I'm like, yeah. They like, damn, Angie, ain't that so and so again? I'm like, yeah. That's how much I was watched and stalked with. They was scared to death. They didn't want me to tell anybody about their past, their present, what they was up to. They was proving my point. They was literally proving my point, sitting there stalking me and hawking me. But my whole thing was It wasn't even about me being a seer. It wasn't even about me being a whistleblower and trying to tell people what they were up to. My whole thing was I was in a mindset of how the fuck is I'm finna get out this situation. How as a whole was I finna escape all this torture? How as a whole was I finna escape being stalked, watched, listened to, eavesdrop? Cameras was probably on me, all type of shit. How was I? Me running and telling my neighbors that wasn't gonna help me. Because if a person never experienced what I was going through, they wasn't able to tell me how to get out. And the crazy part about is they even told people. I was wondering for the longest the shit they was telling people. Like they was telling people the most heinous shit about me. Cause they didn't want me to be around nobody. They didn't want me to have friends. I remember, y'all know I love kids, and I'm just tell this story about an example how they used to just say the most outlandish shit about me. It was this little girl that stayed like two doors down. Really, all the kids on my block loved me. I had started being friends with a girl. She lived two doors over. She had a lot of kids, and her and her boyfriend had asked me. He was like, Angie, can I put you on emergency contact for my kids' school? And I said, yeah, of course. And I had gave him my number and stuff, and they of course used to call me for emergency contact. For they had like some kid, they had like five or six kids, and I always used to get their kids chew like juice and chips and candy. And I remember another man on the block had tried to give them some candy or something. And the daddy went berserk. He was like, can't nobody on this block give my kids nothing except Miss Angie. Da da da. He was like, y'all weren't trying to do that before y'all saw Miss Angie. He was like, he was telling his kids, like, don't accept no junk food if it don't come from Angie. And then the father ended up like getting locked up, going to jail, and then me and the baby mama, we had got into it over a parking space or something. We got into it over a parking space, and we stopped talking. Then one day I had saw her kids. I had saw her kids. Her kids was like locked out. They couldn't get in the house, and they was standing by the curb. Her little girl and her little boy, the two oldest kids. And I was like, where your mom at? And they was like, she not home. And I was like, you know what? And I had asked my narcissistic ex, I'm like, well, even though me and the girl don't talk no more, should I go downstairs to get her kids? And he was like, yeah, Angie, go get that girl kids because you'll want somebody to do it for you. So I went to go get her kids. And another thing, I wanted to get her kids from downstairs because everybody on my block, they is the type of person, they just waiting for something to transpire so they can call CPS on somebody or get their kids to. They always calling CPS, they always calling the city, they always doing some weird shit on the block that where I was. So I went downstairs and got her little girl and her little boy, and I was like, y'all sit up here and eat some cereal and try to call y'all mom. So they kept trying to call the mom, and the mom wasn't answering the phone. So I was like, I'm gonna sit by the window and see if I see her. When she made it on a block, don't you know how a mother like looked so afraid? And she was looking frantically. And I just went downstairs and I went towards her and I said, I don't want you to be mad at me, but your kids upstairs with me. And she was like, like, like I was like, yeah. So after that we started talking and shit. But I'm saying to say just to break down me and the logistics of the kids on the block. Now it was this other little girl on the side of me that she took to me, and I was always giving her nail polish. She was always sitting on the porch with me, and it had went on for like 2 3 years. Her daddy lived next door. Her mom and her grandmother lived on the end, so it was like everybody knew me, everybody loved me. So why the fuck my baby daddy come home one day, and I guess he went he took it upon himself to go down to them people house and was like, keep keep y'all daughter from away from Angie, like that. Don't y'all feel like that's some Michael Jackson shit? Da 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 da. And they was like, and I was so fucking hurt. I was like, why would you say, why, like, bro, what is you talking about? Like, why would you go back down? Why would you go down there and tell them people, like, I would actually do something today? Like, bro, you're weird. Now, mind you, I want to have my comments off because I want to get through this story in entirety. Went down there and told them people that, and then he left back out. I was so hurt. I went back down there. They said, Angie, we know you'll never do nothing to our child. We're not gonna listen to him. He sound crazy at this point. Like he sound like a maniac at this point. Like, is he cool? He did not want anybody around me, not even a child, not even a kid. For him to sit up there and try to ruin my credibility like that, that was heinous. That was some heinous shit. But I bet you when he bought his daughter, when his baby mama used to be dropping his daughter off in the snow in front of the house with no clothes on, it was okay for your daughter to be your newborn daughter, and then you leaving out the house. He used to leave out the house and go chase his baby mama. They fighting, they arguing. When he done brought a baby home to me, so I had a Samaj, and then I had his daughter from the outside. But I'm looking like, didn't you just tell these people that they shouldn't have their kids around me? And both of you, I don't know this young lady you got a baby by. She don't know me, but she come by the house, dropping her baby off in the snow. Then you go downstairs in the snow, pick the baby up, bring the baby up there with me, like here. I'll be back, and then y'all going out there fighting and fighting and busting each other car windows out in the streets. So he was just trying to like sow seeds of doubt in people's head about me, and I didn't really know what was going on at the time. Me living here, I can reflect back. I'm over it, but I'm just bringing up stuff that I think about every day, and I'm figuring it out. I'm not still emotionally and want to cry, and I'm still like dumbfounded, like, why? I know why now. And this is the big thing, and this is another big part of the story I want to say. A lot of stuff he used to say he was projecting because he was really the predator. He was really the statutory rapist. I was 15 when I met my child's father. He was 19. I never forget it. 15 years old, and he was 19 years old. He was riding by the high schools, I guess looking for young girls to court, looking for young girls to date or whatever. And I remember him riding up one day, and all you know how they let the high school out, and all you walking down the street with all your friends, and he had rolled up, and he was like, "You." And everybody, all the little girls looking around like me. He was like, "No, move out the way, you." So he was pointing to me, and then my friend was like, "Girl, he pointing to you." So I had went across the street, and and he was like, "How old are you?" And I was like 15, and then he was 19. And I was 15, was my first one. I got pregnant with my son when I was 16. I had him when I was 17. And when I went to his mom's house, she went berserk. His mom went absolutely berserk. She called him all type of child molesters, predators. Me looking back on the situation in real time, I thought his mama was crazy. I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, what's going on? Like, why is she talking about you like this? Why is she talking about us like this? But me looking back now as a grown woman, she was absolutely right. He was a statutory rapist. No way, if I was 15 years old, he had already graduated from high school or didn't graduate or dropped out. He was 19 years old. 15 and 19, what 19, if my son grow up to be 19 years old and he bring a little girl in my house and she's 15, I'll do the exact same thing. She had to go. I had to call her parents. Where's your parents at? And when I say his mom stayed up all night long, ranting and raving, walking past the bedroom door, walking past the bedroom door. And she was like, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're a predator." She was just going ham, like she was totally upset. And I noticed that their relationship was a love-hate relationship. It had him and his mother. It was kind of sort of weird that you couldn't, like, the weird that you couldn't put your hand on. Like, he'll love her, one day he'll hate her, then she'll have a nervous breakdown. It was really like some weird shit going on in the household. It was weird. Okay. I could say a bunch of other shit, but I'm gonna leave it as that. And that's why after I had my son, 17, we got an apartment together at 18. And I think before we even got our first apartment, I had stopped talking to the mom. Like, I had totally stopped talking to her because she used to watch him beat me. She used to watch her son abusing me. I remember one day we were all outside and he actually wrapped his hand around my hair and like swear to God, and drug me down the street. And she didn't say nothing. She didn't say a thing. It was like, I don't know if she was scared of him or I think she just knew what type of monster he was. And after that, I was like, I'm done with her. Cause if she couldn't talk no sense into her son, it's no reason for me to even have. I mean, it was a lot of family members out there, and by that time He instigated a lot of stuff. I had a lot of fights with his cousins. I had fight after fight with his cousins. It was just weird. It was just a weird situation. And then he had finally told me, like, I don't want you around my family. Stay the fuck from around my family. And I had went to my mom and dad. I was like, he said to stay away from his family. Do you guys know what that mean? And he was like, well, that's his family. Don't go against that man. But really, he knew his family was gonna tell me how he was. He knew his family was gonna say, Angie, you too pretty for him. You too smart for him, Angie. He gonna ruin your life. Leave. I believe that's the reason why he said, I don't want you around my family. So, of course, after I had to fight all the sisters, all the cousins, I just finally got the idea like these people are not my cup of tea. It's not gonna work. Um, it was just weird. The whole I look back on that shit and just I really don't know how I endured years and years of being triangulated, isolated, beat, lied on, and just made out to look like a deplorable person. When I was the one that was good and everybody else was evil as fuck. Even the new baby mama, it was like I didn't even know her from a can of paint. And she had I told you she had came over to the house and dropped the baby off. I guess she was mad because he lived at the house with me. We had a big ass house. And I guess uh she was tired of the baby or whatever. She had three other kids or whatever when he met her. And then they end up having a baby together. All under my nose. Like all under my nose. He was living in the house, didn't say a word. I think he had bought some little girl clothes home or something. And I was like, oh, maybe somebody thought bought these for Samaje and they thought he was gonna be a little girl. I mean, and he turned out to be a little boy. So I had gave somebody some of the clothes for a baby shower and everything. Like I didn't know it was no baby. I didn't know he had somebody pregnant. And today she actually came start acting crazy and dropping the baby off in front of the crib. And one day she came there. No, one day he came there and he laid on the couch. He laid on the front room couch. And you know I'm a seer. I say something finna happen. I said some it's finna I said I had it. My discernment say it's finna go down today. Cause I'ma catch her today. She's not finna pull that today. So she was downstairs blowing, yelling, just on some ghetto ratchet bird brain type stuff. Bump, 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 screaming his name, blowing all types of stuff. So I got up. I put on my shoes. He was like, Angie, just lay back down. You shouldn't leave the comfort. You shouldn't leave the comfort of your bed to go down there and dress her. Just ignore her. I said, no, I'm not gonna ignore her. You can sit up here and lay on the couch, but she cannot continue to keep coming to my house disrespecting me. So I went downstairs. Now let me tell you how weird people is. I'm gonna tell you how weird this whole scenario is from the beginning to the end. I didn't come out the front door. I came out the back door. We had the back side door. So I came out the back side door and walked up to the front. She was still blowing like a maniac. I said, "Excuse me, you looking for me?" She said, "Oh yeah, you Angie. I heard a lot about you. I heard your mama dead. I heard your daddy dead. You don't got nowhere to go. You need him." She, baby, she said she had so much to say about me. I actually sat down on the steps. We had stone steps. I actually sat down on the stone steps because once it was like she was ready to release all what she knew about me. So I had to sit down on the on the steps. She was like, "Yeah, they said, and he said, and they said, and he said." I'm talking about she was going for about 5 minutes. And then she said, I said, "Are you done? Are you done?" She was like, "Yeah." I said, "What you want to do? Get out the car." She was like, she was like, "You don't got nowhere to go. You need him. Da 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 da." So I think at that time he came downstairs. He came downstairs and she jumped out the car. She jumped out the car. She was like, I was just trying to see what was going on because you wasn't answering your phone. You wasn't answering your phone." I want to tell y'all the whole story, but I can't. I can't. I can't. I cannot. Yeah, he came downstairs and she was saying so much stuff. She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get somebody to come over here and jump you." And then I'm talking about she was going on and on to the neighbors came out, like the next door neighbor, the people across the street, and they was looking at her like she must don't know Angie is crazy. Angie, she got the right word because Angie ass crazy. But yeah, she was threatening me and all type of stuff. Needless to say, I bet you I ain't have to worry about her again after that day. Needless to say, she was like, "Yeah, they said you scary and you always call the police." Where did you get that from? Hmm. I'm talking about she went on and on for 5 minutes and the neighbors came out. She was just putting on the show. But that was the leading up to the beginning of the end. And it was embarrassing. It was like humiliating, because she wanted to make herself known. She wanted to make her presence. Um, I knew then. I already knew then when she came over there. I knew immediately he had been pillow talking to her. I knew he'd been lying to her. I knew it was over with once you lay down with a woman and um you actually expose your address and where you live at. It was just like that's something you don't do. And how much it was alarming how much she knew about me. And the sad part about it was I would have never told anybody that amount of things about him ever in life. I would have never sat up there and pillow talk because he would have been a target. They would have been like, "Oh yeah, he got what? Oh yeah, he back. You what? Oh yeah, he got that. And they would have been at him. That would have been he would have been a bullseye. You see what I'm saying? What he did to me, opposed to if I would have did it to him, he would have been taken out a long time ago. They would have been got him. If I would have sat up there and pillow talk in the bed was about him to somebody else. You see what I'm saying? That would have made him a target. He would have been got. He probably would have been out the game if I would have did it to him. But that was leading up to the end. But my whole thing was when she sat up there and said all that stuff, I knew he had found somebody just as trifling as the females in his family. You found somebody just on their level. See, I wasn't never on their level. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but I was always the classy, sophisticated, smart one. I wasn't with the ratchet ghetto shit, the low vibrational shit they was already always on. So I was always the black sheep of both sides of the family, the in-laws family and his family. So it was always room for jealousy because, you know, the situation with him. But yeah, I ain't gonna tell y'all what happened. But I guarantee you, shit, I ain't never have to ever mess, ever have to worry about her fucking with me again a day in life. And yeah, shit was crazy. And I knew about her doing that and acting like that. He had found somebody. He had found somebody just like him. He had found somebody that he showed her how he treated me, and she introduced herself and came right in doing the same thing to me, trying to hurt me, trying to make me cry, trying to tear me down. And the crazy part about it is I didn't want to seem crazy because I wanted to warn her. See, you will look crazy and you will look jealous of the other woman if you just come on out and just be like, girl, you think you got a prize? Girl, you think the grass is green? If I would have tried to warn her, I would have been looking crazy and I would have been the one would have been looking like I'm trying to break them up. But slowly but surely, bam, that was the beginning when I started saving my money. When that stuff started happening, I started saving my bread immediately. When you leave narcissistic men like that, that's abusive, they are called malignant narcissists. Those are the worst kinds. They will beat you, the ones that beat you. They will take you to church on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. They will beat your head in between the washer and dryer. They act one way outside. It's because it's about image. When you get in the house and close that door, they become a monster. They are a demon. They are a warlock child. So it's really, really hard trying to cuff somebody that both for y'all knew mutually and saying, oh, he's like this, because it'd be hard for other people to actually look at him in that light because they just see him as the doting, the community, the this, the that. You shouldn't even waste your time. When you in that type of narcissistic with a malignant, the ones that beat you, you have to start strategizing your exit plan. It's like you got to go and you have to escape from Alcatraz. You got to get out that situation. You can't be loud. You can't be boisterous about it. You can't let them know that you're going to leave because they will hurt you. They will hurt you if they know that you're planning to leave them. That's when I started saving my motherfucking money, doing it on the low, opening up accounts, getting like safe deposit boxes, shit like that. You have to plan your escape and do it gradually but surely. Start getting your documents together, your birth certificates. If you got kids, start getting their birth certificates, start getting their social security records. I had to get my father's documents. I had to get my documents, my son's documents. Um, I think that was the most important for me. I got as much stuff that I could that was important for me, but me being here, I'm virtually starting over. Now, for a materialistic person, they probably wouldn't have been able to cope. And they know they had 1,000 pair of tennis shoes, 1,000 coats, 3,000 outfits. They probably would have went back to their house and would be like how she came back to the house, how she came to our house and dropped the baby off. Another person who's materialistic and won't be able to let that stuff go. I probably would have went back to that house if I had any of that bird mentality, because I left some stuff behind that I really, really wanted. I really, really need. But I feel like it's not worth my safety. It's not worth my sanity. It's not worth me going over there because I don't know how somebody would react to me. I don't know if my neighbors missing me and I just be over there and they'd be like, come on, come over here, Angie. Oh, this is Angie. We ain't saw you in 5 years, girl. Come here. Then I'll be on the porch talk to them and then police ride up and then they'll be like, she was just on our property and it'd just be a whole big thing. So it's hard leaving a lot of shit and a lot of relationships with neighbors, friends. Some of those people were actually my fucking friend. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of times when you leave the narcissist, you have to leave people that knew both of y'all mutually alone. It's hard for you to trust anybody. Who's to say if I do ride over there, he not home, but I end up talking to my neighbors. And then somebody on the block be like, I saw Angie over here and Angie look good and Angie don't even look like she aged today. And Angie and Samaj so tall and then he'd be looking like, oh yeah, she came over here. You know, you just have to leave that stuff alone. Like I have to leave it alone. And it's hard to describe if somebody has never went through this, but it is hard. It is having to start over. Like I knew every bit of 3,000 people, but now that I'm not with the narcissist, I can't mess with none of them 3,000 people because I can't trust none of them because I don't know what they'll be thinking. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard. And then now I'm here and it's like I'm trying to start a new life and I don't want to meet new people and then talk about the past and warn them, then say I went through this, don't hurt me, I went through this. I think it's easier to live the life I have always dreamed of alone. Like you have to do it alone. I'm healed, I'm over it. I'm telling somebody there, I'm talking to somebody out there that they can do it. They can do it. I saw a video today of a woman. They said she made 51 videos crying, asking for help. Like she was just over her kids. She needed a break. She was saying, could anybody come get them? Only thing that I'm grateful for that she didn't harm them kids. She took her life, but she didn't harm those kids. Her kids was her first priority. She was begging out for help. Like I said, I'm here. I don't know anybody here. I didn't have a village. Um, I had to make my own village. These people were so rotten that, like I told you, me and a narcissist stayed on the first on the second floor. His mom stayed on the first floor. Mind you, how many times she walked past Samaje? She walked past my baby over 1 billion times. Walked past him. Just because she didn't talk to me, just because she didn't like me, I still had her grandchild. He didn't know that was his grandmother. He didn't know her from a can of paint. She never said, hey, can I see him? Can I touch him? Can I hold him? Hey, Angie, I know we don't have a good relationship, but I want to have a relationship with my grandson. I don't know how, and for the life of me, I don't know how I even stayed that long to put up with all that. That man, I don't even know what is the word to describe people like that. That your son and his baby mama up 10 years stay above you. You never been up their house, but your son go that sneak down in your house when you want to. I get pregnant, I have a baby, and you walk past your grandbaby 1 billion times. We could be me and Maj could be sitting on the front porch. She'll walk in, walk out, walk in. His own grandmother. I'm so glad I got up out there. And people be in that question talking about why is I'm happy. I'm happy because I don't have to cope with stuff like that every day. I'm happy because I don't have to accept stuff like that every day. I'm happy because I got out that situation because it was tearing me up in the inside. How I was around demons, devils, Jezebels, people that are that fucking cruel. So my J grew up and he had some kids. I don't care how I feel about his baby mama, but we gonna make amends. We gonna make amends that day she get birth. Hey, I apologize for whatever happened in the past, but I want to be in my grandchild life. I wouldn't dare walk past. No, man, I don't know what you call them people. I don't. That's why I've been through so much stuff in my life that I became a seer. It's nothing that anybody could get past me before that I know that's in a rotten person characteristics. Can't nobody show me or display none of them signs and I haven't witnessed it before out of a rotten person. Man, I'm telling you, I didn't cry about it. I ain't bitch about it. I ain't moan about it. I planned my escape and I got the fuck out of there. Some shit went down right before I left and it really the begin propelled the end. Like it propelled it and it helped me out a lot. I don't regret nothing I went through. I don't regret Samaje. I love my child. Another thing that I'm happy about that he cannot really ever grill my child. The way they watch me, stalk me, eavesdropped on me, follow me, they will use Maj. If he can talk and he can communicate, they would have been called him. Yeah, where you live at, Samaje? What's your address, Samaje? What school you go to, Samaje? He wouldn't have been thinking nothing, but that's my daddy. He asking, do you see how God will protect you? You'll be divinely protected against these demons, warlocks, Jezebels, and these fucking witches. Because if a person can't get to you, they'll get to you through your son, through what you love, your children. I'm glad that I get time with my son one on one to raise him right. From 1 into 7, I raised him right. I did it hands on. I didn't have to make it seem like one was the good parent, one was the bad parent. I was the disciplinary, and he was the fun parent. I didn't have to make it seem like I was the poor parent, he was the rich parent. I got time alone with my son to show him we I genuinely love him. I'm not using him as a pawn. I love him and I want the best for him. When you co-parent with the narcissist, they will make it seem like, oh, your mom is strict, or your mom is too structured. I'm the fun parent. Oh, she doesn't give you what you want. I can spoil you. It'll be a pull and tug, and then that child will end up resenting you as time go past. The child will end up the child will end up resenting your ass in a way. So what the fuck? Oh fuck. The child will end up resenting your ass in a way because I don't have to let him talk about me like a dog. My child will never witness him talking about me like a dog. I don't bad talk him to Samaje because he can't communicate. He doesn't understand. That will be the wrong thing to do anyway. Is to down talk the father or to down talk the mother. But some parents do it. They will talk about you like a dog in front of the child. The mother would talk about the father like a dog in front of the child. The father would talk about the mother like a dog in front of the child, and it'd be vice versa. Like people are weird, but with Samaje, I would never have to worry about that happening because I'm hands on with my child. I get to genuinely show him love. I don't think about him as being an extension of me. I think about him being my child and I love him. I don't think about him being a pawn. I don't think about him being a burden. I think the universe that I learned and I'm so keen and skillful about being on the spectrum that I don't have to have any problems. I don't have to cry to myself. I don't have to break down. I don't have to get weak. And I don't have to come to the realization that I'm alone. I don't have to ever cry and say, man, I'm alone. Angie, you're alone. You don't have no family. You don't have no friends. You can't do this by yourself. I never once had to say that to myself. It's a lot of parents out here that are truly alone. They don't know what to do. They not skilled on autism, so it's very hard for them. They go through mental wars every single day. Um, yeah, it's just even. I'm gonna tell you this story and then I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna tell you another story, and I want to get all this out instead of reading comments and being combative and going back and forth with people in the comments. When I lived in a homeless shelter, everybody in the shelter had a CPS case. But me. They knew I was a good mother. Everybody had a CPS case. I remember every day going to pick up somebody from school and coming back, and it was like 5 or 6 caseworkers in the hallway with like a little some kind of like a little board with the clip on there with their pen, and they were waiting on this mom They were waiting on this mom, and then I'll go through one door, and one mom will be on the floor crying, and then I'll walk through that hallway, and then another one to be in the laundry room crying, and then I used to just hug and kiss the moms like it's gonna be okay, and cause I think they were like mandated reporters at the DV shelter, and I used to even like get Samaj like services when I was in the shelter. They used to come to the shelter like and give him speech and give him OT and DT and stuff like that. So but what I noticed was every one of them parents that had the CPS case, they were helping them. They were helping them with stuff. They was getting out of there quicker. They were getting out of there swifter. They were getting out of there faster. And like I said, I just sat there for 18 fucking months. Like, but everybody else, they were like getting the services they needed. And then I think I actually had called CPS on myself. Child, I was so desperate to get out of there, y'all. I had called DCFS on myself, and they was like, "It's no case." How long you been there? I said 18 months. She said, and your case manager and no other case manager and no other member of the faculty called us. You don't even need an investigation because it's no case. You're a good parent. And I was just going through stuff. Like I was just going through different resources because I wanted to get out of there so fucking bad. It was just a mess. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a fucking mess. It was a fucking mess. So, every day of my life, I realize um, that I just got to be strong. I have to live my life. I have to be happy for what I have. Be thankful what I have, what I don't have, and what I have. I just have to show gratitude because it's not easy for a lot of parents just to start all over, from scratch, from not having anything, and it's some stuff have to buy, and I be like, man, I had this already. I had the one that belonged to my mother, or I had the one that belonged to my father, and I don't have it anymore. I have to buy it over like brand new, like this is mine, and it makes me appreciate it a lot more. But my name is Angie. I tell stories like this every single day, and this was the story how people will try to destroy you because they know you are a seer, and it will be more stories like this to come. Um, it doesn't make me feel no type of way. I just am grateful that nothing really bad happened to me. Um, Everything that happened to me, domestic violence wise, I healed from. Black eyes, I healed from. I still have my like a beautiful smile. I remember him standing over me once upon a time, like stomping me in my face, like stomping me. It was like he was really trying to disfigure my face at one point, and I think the universe said no. We're not gonna let you destroy Angela's face. Yeah, I never, as a woman, never let anybody take your youth from you. Never let anybody take your beauty from you. Never let nobody use your patience because that's what they're really out to get. Predators are out there. Your youth. They're statutory rapists. They're sick in the head. And the longer you be patient with them, the longer they can future fake with you, lie and manipulate you. And you will look around, it will be a whole bunch of time wasted, and you will probably be caught up in a whole bunch of bullshit that you don't want to be in, fighting other people's battles, just fighting for your life. Period. Every day. You got to fight every day to prove your love to somebody that don't even love themselves, don't even love their kids. And if you enjoy me and you support me, subscribe and turn your post notifications on. Child, I am tired. I have a Zoom meeting tomorrow. I'm interviewing one more person for Samaj's speech. And when I interview that person tomorrow, I'm actually waiting for his uh his current speech teacher to release her notes so I can have his notes of his progress and the things that they worked on. So when she released those notes, I will make my decision on who I am picking for a new uh speech therapist. I reached out to the daycare and told them today that she will no longer be working with my child. I will be dropping him off. He will no longer be going with her beforehand and she escorting him down there. No, 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 no. I will be taking him. So it will be opposed from 1 to 4. I told her let's start slow from maybe 2 to 4 o'clock. So we agreed upon that. Um, um, Tomorrow I'll try to come to you guys tomorrow and tell you about the meeting and what I decided to do. Um, Until then, you they don't do that shit when I'm talking. It's like do right and kill everything. I think my frequency be too motherfucking high for them, and they just be up there on the fucking ADHD rant, or just trying to distract me, or just make me lose my train of thought, and they don't want me to get my message out. I think they just feel me. You know what I'm saying? Like they just feel the frequency or the vibration, because that shit is just weird. Um, but